I made a previous video on this channel about what I built with Claude Code, but it's already been updated and slightly outdated. So I want to show an update of what I've built here with my command center and also some other things that could be helpful to you in your journey with Claude Code. What's up, guys? My name is Nico Orapkalis. I'm an entrepreneur and I love helping people think better, be better, optimize better, and just become the best version of themselves so that their company and the people around them all get better as well. So let's dive in. Let's talk about this. And if you guys have any questions, make sure and put them down in the comments and let me know what you got most out of this video so that can help me make future videos and help you serve you guys even better. So happy Friday to y'all. Let's get at it. So one of the things that I have built now is agents. Like, this is relatively new for me. Anything I've built before this has not necessarily been agents, which I've always continued to hear more about these agents, but I haven't necessarily experienced them. So I knew it was on the horizon, and now it's really exciting because it just feels like everything just gets a little bit quicker with agents. And so I'm sure a lot of people watching this video already have a good understanding of agents, and maybe I'm a little behind the eight ball on this. But I think now that I've got this set up, I'm just I can feel a relief of how this is starting to really put together. And I want to show you on how I'm building it. I had a friend that really helped me. It took us 3-4 hours to put my agent together and start my initial agent. And so the first agent that I put together here, and you can see I'm building a dashboard. And so for me, that's really important because I'm a very visual type of person. And so when I can see things and I can have organization, that helps me so much. There was a friend of mine and a mentor, so to speak, that shared with me a long time ago is that our physical environment is a physical representation of our mind. And so I used to be really messy, and I felt very messy in my mind too. I was scattered, I was all over the place. But once I heard him tell me that, everything shifted. I never had a dirty apartment ever since then. It just wasn't, I don't know how it shifted so quick, but it just made so much sense to me. And the more organized that I can be, the more that I can operate efficiently. And so why I built a lot of this is because one is to save time, and that's what I made on the last video, is how do I get my time back as much as possible. And I built this whole thing called Spiros, which I'll explain where that name came from too, which I think is really important for you to consider when you're building things out. But it helped me identify and show me where my time is going, which what gets measured gets managed, or what gets measured can be managed. So unless you're measuring something and you can see it, from my perspective, is that it's going to be tough. So I would take all my Rise data, which is a screen recording app, and then I also take my Google Calendar, which are the two places that depict and show where all my time is going, at least on my computer. And then my Google Calendar shows off different meetings and dates and things I'm doing with my girlfriend and so on and so forth. So once I was able to see that stuff, now I can start optimizing, because I know if projects are taking a significant amount of time and I want to start delegating that, that's why I would start building agents, right? And so that's why I built that. And I'm going to start incorporating more of that into what I'm going to show you here a little bit more. But yeah, I think just having that physical visual of what I can see, because even in the midst of my friends telling me about agents and seeing them, I'm just kind of having a hard time, what are you talking about? I don't quite understand it. And so when I can have a visual, that helps me significantly. And so I also kind of think about this as I always think about things as running your company, which a lot of entrepreneurs that watch this page are in that boat as well. And so it's if you think about you running your life as a company, what if you just had a bunch of employees, but you had no idea where the organizational chart was, and you just yeah, we have a bunch of employees. That's great, but where are they? What are they doing? What's happening? So just that organization, it really clears my mind. And as I showed on the last video as well, is that I like to have a clear depiction of what are all my decisions that I want to be making, or even tasks and everything. And if I can get them out of here and into my dashboard, that's really helpful. And then it clears things up so that I can think better. And the biggest leverage point with a CEO, or really just anyone that's leading their life, is their ability to think. And so the more that you can get off the mundane that you don't want to necessarily be thinking about, it's weighing you down. At least that's my experience. Is like when I have a lot on my plate, a lot of decisions, and I'm not making those decisions, it's weighing me down. And also not knowing the decisions, that weighs me down as well, because it's just like muddled up, and it just weighs me down. Because like, I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but this shifted me so much. And it was this whole concept of the guy sitting on the fence. The devil comes up to him, asks him, which side are you going to pick, heaven or hell? The guy's like, I don't know, I'm still deciding. The devil's like, cool, I'll be back. Comes back a little while later, says time's up. And he's like, which side? The guy's like, I don't know, I'm still deciding. The devil's like, cool, come with me. The fence is mine. The fence is part of hell. And so like the heaviest thing in the world is not gold, it's not silver, it's not metal, it's not titanium. It's an unmade decision. And so if we can start building things out that are going to help us make decisions better, and I'll show you my rice scoring methodology on how I do this, but the better that I can see things, that I can visualize, I know what kind of decisions I want to be making, that changes the game significantly, okay? So, and then that leaves me more space and energy to actually think about bigger picture items, which is the vision, and refining that clarity of what the vision is and communicating that vision. And that's why we built Vision Espresso. If you've been on this channel for any period of time, we talk about this often, and it's the highest leverage move that you can make. And most people are not even clear on where they're going. That's why we built the vision quiz. It's literally taken us 20 years to build this thing out, over $250,000 in research and development over the years. And we've boiled it down into an art and a science and a technology that takes less than 20 minutes. And some entrepreneurs have increased their clarity by up to 108% in those 20 minutes. So if you want to go take that, go to visionespresso.co. There's a link down in the description. But you really, like, clarity is everything. And like, if I didn't have clarity, if I didn't know really what I wanted, then I wouldn't have been able to build something like this out. Okay, so let's dive into this a little bit more, and I'll show you exactly a few different things on how I built this, or more so like the thinking through of why I built this, and then just the visuals of it. So a couple things I'm going to show you here is my priorities. And again, I use the RICE scoring methodology. It's reach, impact, confidence, and divided by effort. And then that'll give us a score. So here you can see, I'll just click on one of them. Michael is one of my mentors that helped me out with my business and my branding. And so basically we had a call yesterday, and he was like, I want to see your customer journey. I want to see your sales page, and I want to see your funnel stats. And that came from me loading in my transcript. So as you can see down here, this is one of my sub agents. So before I get into all this, maybe I'll share my agent factory organization. So obviously this is me. This is the only human in the organization. Then I have Spiros. Okay, Spiros was my great grandfather's name. That's why I built it through this. And again, I believe it's really important to take time and sit with like what you actually want to call your agent, and specifically your orchestrator. Okay, the orchestrator is the one not actually doing all the agent work. It's the one delegating. It's your like right hand man. Think about like Jarvis inside of what's the movie? Iron Man. So we can click on, and what I really enjoy about this, how I've built it, which is like you can click on them and I can see what's going on. So I can have roles of responsibility, or more so, this is the role, this is the responsibility. So route every task through the 90-10 doctrine, delegate 90%, personally execute 10%, scoping, review, integration. So that's the responsibility, or that's more so the role. The responsibility is first question on every task, which agent or skill owns this. Review and approve all agents' output before it counts. Mint new agents when a real recurring need appears, never before. Keep the brain logs and this dashboard current. Tell Nico the truth. Push back once when the plan is weak. So this is all the things I really communicated to it. And basically, again, I don't want to ever bog this guy down, but I want him to help me think and get things off my plate quicker and easier. So that's kind of like the first one. And then from there, like, I think a really important thing that we understood is that, like, we're never going to just create agents out of thin air. We're going to be operating our life. And one of the things I always do is, and this is the command I do inside of my actual Claude code, is I do /dump, which is kind of funny. But then that has me offloading everything and just sharing. Like, for example, like, started really building all this stuff out, and that's where, like, Scribe came into the factor. Is like, I shared with him, hey, I have a lot of calls. I record them with Fathom or some other audio recorders as well. And I think that's going to be one of the most powerful sources of truth. I'm big on that whole concept of, like, where's your source of truth? And so if you can, like, just document and record it yourself as much as possible, that's when, like, you can have massive awareness of where the pockets are, of where you want to build these agents. So I think about this, like I said, have a lot of calls, I record them, and then I was like, all right, so I had this call with Michael. I wanted you to load it in so you can start seeing where my holes are, where my patterns are that are not supporting me, what are the action items, where I want to talk about my brand, like how I want to, like, instill some of these things. And so it's always like, I always will talk about the woo and the do on this channel. So, and it's really important to be tapped in energetically and more of, like, the soft skills, but then also, like, all right, we're building business, let's go. Okay. So, like, even on that call, I recognized where some of my patterns come up, where I was, like, supplicating to my mentor and just, like, really, like, asking his advice so much more, and, like, putting everything in his hands rather than, like, standing strong in what I think and then be like, hey, love your perspective on this. So it was just, like, powerful realizations, and it pointed that out to me because of how I've programmed Scribe. So let's come into here. Scribe, TLDR of every harvested call. And right now I'm just copying and pasting the transcripts in as opposed to connecting with the API. I truly believe in proving something out before you're automating it, and that's effectively what we're doing. And you can see that, like, it's at draft only, it's at L0. So I give it stages. The more we get to know each other, the more I trust the agent, the more that I'll, like, level it up and go from level 1 or level 0 to level 1 to level 2 to level 3, where they get more permissions. So I think that's a good way. It's like, it's just like training up your staff. Like, there's benchmarks that you guys hit to make sure that you guys are on pace, and then you give them more trust and responsibilities. So you bring in the notes, tag Vision Espresso, Nico, Spiros, communication observations of Nico. So just what I was saying, honest, evident quote, eyes on me. So I just wanted to, like, be aware, very aware of me. Flag action items, commitments, and hard stop territory back to Spiros. So how cool is this? This is really cool. And then I'll just show you this one. And this is just proposed. We haven't, like, really instilled this, but this is my email assistant now. So you triage Nico's Gmail, draft replies, and schedule emails against his calendar. Drafts only, Nico reviews and sends. So surface what actually needs my attention versus all the noise. Draft replies, scheduling follow-ups checked against his real calendar. Flag deadlines and commitments, hiding in emails, taxes, invites, asks. Stage everything, never send. Outbound is a hard stop on every level. So just very diligent on what's going on. And so these are just a couple of my first agents, but what I'm going to essentially do is, like, I'm going to bucket all of these too into different, like, one would be marketing, one would be, like, maybe, like, personal development and emotional intelligence. Like, I really want to train it on that. Like, that's really important, so that I have very emotionally intelligent agents, so that, like, they're on my wavelength. So that's kind of what I built. And then from the calls and everything I'm doing, and these dumps that I'm giving, again, I like to crack myself up sometimes. So I have different things, but, like, what happens is, like, I showed you this earlier, but, these come from our conversations or the dumps, and then I just put in here, and then basically, like, I'll even, like, look at this one. So reply to Catherine's assistant with call time. So Catherine's assistant, who is someone that I'm engaging with a little bit more around a business deal, as we identify the rice score. So I come in here and based on what I share, what's the reach, what's the impact, what's the confidence that we're going to just get this done, and what's the effort. So you can see it's on terms of reach, 1, it's very low. Impact is like a 7 because this could be a very pivotal relationship. And then confidence, like confidence of a 9, and then effort is a 1. Like just reply to Catherine's assistant. It'll take me less than 15 minutes, but then boom, when I like have knocked it off, okay, yeah. And I probably still have some stuff to do because I want to make sure I have the capabilities to actually change the score if I need be. I can also change like, okay, this is actually going to take me 45 minutes, so let's just adjust that. So I just changed that there. So, this still has a little bit of work to do, but you can see that like, and then I can like eventually I can take these off. Again, I probably haven't plugged this in yet, but I'll be able to like delete these or change these or, just different things like that. So that's really the gist, guys. I want to show you what I'm building, and that's really the point of this channel for these type of videos is I want to help you think better. I want you to help you be more clear on where you're going, install that into your subconscious so that you can operate from the most powerful version of yourself, and you have the new story that's actually going on in your head, and you can do things as opposed to any of our negative beliefs and stuff like that. That's what Vision Espresso is all about. It all starts with the vision quiz to help you get that clarity, and then from there we have other offerings that can really instill all that deep into your subconscious. We use AI for everything. It's really powerful. That's a big point of this channel and what we're doing here. And then also give you inspiration, give you ideas, help you think through things. And that's also why we have our Skool Community. We have an amazing group of people, I think like a little over 1,200 people. We have Friday connection calls, so a bunch of other entrepreneurs. You're welcome to come in. It's a free community right now. We've talked about how we are potentially turning into a paid community. That's very likely going to happen at some point. But yeah, you're welcome to come through right now. And that's a lot of people that are in that take the vision quiz first so that they're more clear on where they want to go. But I want to give you inspiration, ideas, and thoughts and different things to get inspired around AI and think about AI in a really powerful way, as opposed to some people that are thinking about this in a fear-based way. But I just look at AI as such a cool platform, and it allows us to offload all the things. Like, I don't want to be responding to emails. I don't want to be like going back through my calls and like looking at the action items. I know like platforms like that, Fathom, do it, but I want it to correlate to like my life more rather than just like, oh, this item. I want something to like really help me with all that, so then I can do the more human things. I sit on the board of a company called the AI Surfer. Their whole methodology is the 90-10 principle. Let AI do 90% of the stuff that you don't even want to do, so that you can do the 10% of the things that you absolutely love doing. So like, how cool would that be? And I really think we're going to this point of like, we're getting AI to offload everything that we don't even want to do because it's way better at us than all of those things. And AI can't do the things that we really want to do, like go travel and have human experiences, build relationships, and have great conversations, and surf or whatever it is that you want to do. How cool would that be if we're all just like chilling, having a good time, knowing that AI is taking care of everything, and we get to expand our consciousness, have great conversations, share, laugh, enjoy our time. So I think that's where we're headed, as long as we all take an active approach in that. So thank you for watching this video. Make sure and subscribe, share this with someone that could get some value out of it, and make sure and join our Skool Community. Follow us on Instagram, stuff like that. All right, y'all, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.